Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, we'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushua, by Hashem HaKadosh, double understood the elders and the apostles. All right, of course, starting from Prophet Abba Bimazon down to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Greetings and salutations to you, Akim, that are pushing the word in truth and sincerity. All right, truth and sincerity. All right, which are the 144K that have not and will not delay. All right, this is your brother Yaikwab,
Brother Shamak,
out of the command of Great Millstone Atlanta Church. And we're just going to dive into a lesson concerning reincarnation. All right, incarnare, which is the base word for it. Matter of fact, I'm going to grab that. I'm going to grab that through the Spirit. Let's start it off with grabbing the etymology of that word. All right. You speak up.
And the inspiration of this lesson, really came from, a scoffer, a demon, a deceiver, Vocab Malone, basically saying that there's no reincarnation in a recent video that he did, basically you saying that's saying that Yahweh Shem Yahushua, that Yahweh is not coming back. That's really saying, that you only live once, and really that's all according to the scriptures, man. Reincarnation is all throughout the scriptures, and that's what we're here to prove, not by our own words, by our own, lean on our own understanding. We're going to simply go through the scriptures and bring precept upon precept, to bring out for edification's sake, for those sincere believers out there, and Lord willing, we hope and pray that it's edifying.
All right. So we know that word re, the term, the prefix re means back. Mm-hmm. All right. And when you go into the incarnate, all right, which is the base word of reincarnation, it comes from the late 14th century, embodied in flesh. So back, coming back, embodied in flesh, in human or bodily form. So when we speak of reincarnation, we don't speak of a philosophy of us coming back as an animal or a different nation. We speak specifically of us coming back and being regenerated, all right, back into a body of our nation. All right, so 1,000 years ago, me and Shema, were both Israelites. Mm-hmm. We died, we came back, we died, and we've come back however many times, and we're back in the flesh now. All right? And that's what takes place, and that's what happens for all people on the planet Earth. Yep. All right? It says, from the late Latin, incarnatus, which means made flesh. All right? Back, made flesh. All right? Let's see. It says a frequent word among early Christian writers. Because you guys right here are under the doctrine of the false prophet of Revelation, which is the post-Renaissance era Catholicism, modern day Christianity, which does not teach reincarnation. Right. But the early Christians, all right, starting from the apostles of old and their followers, their disciples, they had the pure doctrine and they did teach reincarnation. Mm-hmm. All right. So it says, word among early Christian writers, past participle adjective from Latin incarnate, which I spoke of earlier, which what means to make flesh. All right, back to make flesh. All right, and the qualities, and that's the point for that. Mm-hmm. All right, that's the point for that. And you had something?
Yeah, we just get started with Matthew.
Okay, come on.
It's Matthew chapter 19, verse 28.
Mm-hmm.
And Yahweh said unto them, verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration.
In the regeneration. All right? The regeneration. So let's read that from the top. So like it.
Matthew chapter 19, verse 28. And Yahweh said unto them, verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel.
Right. So that's speaking of the establishment of the kingdom of heaven. Right now, has the kingdom of heaven been established? Since then, no, it has not. It is yet to be established. But it says in the region. It didn't say in that lifetime. It didn't say incarnated in that flesh, made in that flesh, but in the regeneration. And when you go into that word generation, it comes from a word in the Greek, genos. All right. Matter of fact, I'm just for time's sake, I'm gonna grab it in the blue letter. All right. And another thing, me and Brother Shemot was just talking about, this is something that we kind of got away from, a lot of brothers. But hey, make sure you have a physical strong concordance, and make sure you have a concordance at your accessible for you, because these things on our telephones are not going to always be readily accessible. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab that word in the blue letter in the Greek. All right. That was Matthew 19 and 28. So this is Matthew 19:28. And the word is all right, here you go. All right, and the word is regeneration. In the Greek, it comes from a word polygenesia. All right, polygenesia. All right, which means new birth. In the new birth, how you birth? You birth through your mother's womb. All right, reproduction.
Right.
Renewal, recreation, regeneration. Yeah. All right. Hence, renovation, regeneration, the production of a new life consecrated to God. All right, and that's what's going to happen, because we're going to receive our new bodies, which is a new mind. All right, and that regeneration is talking about the time period that they come back when the kingdom is established. They've already come back several times since then. All right, but the point is made that reincarnation is, in fact, legitimate. Right. All right, and we're going to continue to elaborate and prove our point. All right, you had something?
Yeah, Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 9. The thing that have been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. Right. So that goes right into reincarnation, man. This is not your first time being here. Right. No, you don't. You only live once. That's a spirit of death. This is not gonna be your last time living. You're gonna be reincarnated, man. You're gonna be regenerated. It says no new thing under the sun. Verse 10. Is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new? It had been already of old time, which was before us. There is no remembrance of former things, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those shall come after. So yeah, you can't remember, what you did in your past life. You can't remember what transpired in your past life. And then basically that scripture verse 11 said, you're not gonna remember what's gonna happen in your next life. You can't predict it, man. You just can't remember. But this is not your first time. For those taking heed, this is not our first time, man. Doesn't the scripture speak about prophets are subject to prophets? Back then we was most likely righteous men, man. Prophesying. Okay, we may not know who we may be. That's all up to faith. Okay. You had something to add too?
Yeah, use that word generation, going to the etymology of it. Touch up on the 14th century, and I'm going to go a little deeper in history into the base of the word. All right, which means body of individuals born about the same period, and that's the usage that has came from the 14th century. We know, but the scripture was not written in the 14th century. All right, let's see here. It says, notion are descendants of the same stage in the line of descent. All right, that's why we tell you that if the regeneration, you're going to come back in your same race and your same ethnicity, your same kind. All right, it says from Old French, generation, race, people, species, progeny, offspring, act of procreating. And how does that happen? Through, of course, sexual intercourse, which produces children. All right, and as the process continues, I'm gonna go ahead and skip down to the Greek? Let's see here, or this is actually the Latin. Genus, which means race, kind. All right. From the root Gene, give birth. All right, beget. All right. So just because these guys try to play us like we're some novices,
Right.
and they want to quote scriptures, but they don't want to go into words.
Yeah.
They don't want to break down the scriptures that they quote because their scholarship is illegitimate. That is the error. That's the problem at hand. And you have your lot, but the prophets have their lot as well, and that's why we breaking these things down, man. All right, you done with that?
Yeah, I was done.
I'm gonna go ahead and read this. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 14, verse 35, and it reads. It says, "But he, but he shall stand upon top of Mount Zion, all right, which is the nation of Israel, all right, and Zion shall come and shall be showed to all men, being prepared and builded." And what is being prepared and builded? The tabernacle of David. All right, furnished. All right. It says, "Like as thou sawest the hill graven without hands." Verse 37. "And this my son," and who is the son? The son is speaking of Yahushua, Yahushua Mashiach. All right, our Lord and our Savior, the Son of God. It says, "And this my son shall rebuke wicked inventions of those nations," their chemical warfare, their laser beams, their missiles, all right, their radiation, all different type of mechanisms of war that these heathens have. It says, "which for their wicked life are fallen into tempest." All right, let me see. Is that it's 1435.
Yeah, I got it right here too.
Oh, is that the one?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
2nd Ezra chapter 14, verse 35. For
I was
after
reading 13. I'm so like this. Go ahead.
it reads, "For after death shall the judgment come, when we shall live again, and then shall the names of the righteous be manifest, and the works of the ungodly shall be declared."
Right, after death. Say after death, what's going to happen? After we die, what is going to take place?
Shall the judgment come?
Shall judgment come?
When we shall live again?
When we shall live again.
Yeah, it's a cut.
We shall live after death.
Right. And if I could quickly add too, that's what explains when people are born so messed up, man.
Absolutely.
You see things, you like, hey,
Absolutely.
that's judgment from the Lord. It's not as you be like, oh man, that's so. No, man, they did something they past like to get them in that position where they are now.
Absolutely.
It could be something simple as like a lazy eye. It could be something tragic as you paralyzed from birth, man.
Down syndrome.
Down syndrome. That's that judge. You got your judgment because of what you did right now. You thought you was gonna escape. Man, you're not going anywhere. Things are being reported by the angels. That's why reincarnation should put your fear game up.
Yeah.
We trying to be the 144,000 in the kingdom, man.
Right.
Trying to be ruling.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I got that 2nd Ezra 16 too.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 17.
Go start at 14, Bible
14.
For edification's sake.
Behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth.
The plagues are sent and shall not return again. So at this time, when the plagues, when the calamities, when the destruction comes upon the earth, it's a wrap. Everything is going to be fulfilled until Shiloh comes. When Shiloh is the only one that's going to be able to relinquish and bring forth peace and establish order on the earth after these plagues come about.
Verse 15, the fire is kindled and shall not be put out till it consume the foundation of the earth.
Absolutely, which is predominantly speaking of the ICBM, intercontinental ballistic missiles, which will be devouring a great part of the planet Earth via Russia, via China, via Pakistan, via Iran, via India, via United States of America, via North Korea, via South Korea, via Israel. All these nations are going to unleash their innumerable arsenal upon each other, but a predominant amount of them are going to hit America. 200,000 to be exact, 200 million nuclear missile warheads. Not missiles, but warheads. And there are multiple warheads that come within one missile. You know? Go ahead, bro.
Verse 16, like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not backward.
That's how you know it's talking about the missiles. That arrow.
Yeah.
That arrow being shot. All right?
Because once they shot, man, they shot. Ain't no turning back, you know?
Right. That's exactly what it's saying.
It says, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon the earth shall not return again.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Verse 17.
And the plagues also go into famine,
yeah,
pestilence.
different, situations.
But the great plague are those missiles.
Yeah.
That's the great plague.
Just like in the days of Noah, that great plague was what? The flood.
Exactly.
You know, that war, that was two horrible deaths. Drowning, and then burning by fire. Those are two worst deaths, man.
Yep.
You know, those are not quick deaths either.
Mm-hmm. No, that's some pretty bad deaths.
Yeah.
Water and fire.
Yeah. Terrible, bro. You gonna feel that.
I had a quick precept.
I want to say you die slower by fire. I want to say.
Depending on how hot the flame is. Yeah. But the Lord's Spirit gonna be on the flame of the missile, so it's not gonna be a fast death. It's not gonna be a fast death. Yeah. All right. This is a quick precept for what the brother is bringing out. I believe this is it's going to be in 2 Peter's, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this is 2 Peter's chapter 3, verse 7. It says, "But the heavens and the earth, which are now by the same word, are kept in store, reserved unto fire against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly man." All right? So the Lord has restored the earth and the inhabitants and has fattened the lambs. And he shall gather the kidneys thereof. All right? Okay, for the sacrifice in Bozrah. All right? Which is what? By fire. All right? A sweet savior. All right? It's going to be a pleasant scent to the Lord. Because it's a cleansing process. All right? Go ahead, brother.
Verse 17, woe is me, who would deliver me in those days?
What?
Woe is me, who would deliver me in those days?
He said, destruction is me, who shall deliver me? Esdras, this is thousands of years ago. All right, this is, if I'm not mistaken, during the Persians.
Esdras, I'm not too sure.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Esdras is it's either the Persians or the Babylonian Empire. All right? But he said, woe is me, who shall deliver me in those days? So this is a man who was living thousands of years ago. He said, who's going to deliver me as an individual in the days of that destruction? Because Esdras had the understanding that we will return, all right, in regeneration, reincarnation on the earth. All right? You already read Ecclesiastes 6.
Yeah.
Oh,
no, I ain't read the 6, though.
Okay, come.
Ecclesiastes chapter 6, verse 10, it reads, that which have been is named already, and it is known that it is man, neither may he contend with him that he is mightier than he. All right, so that is named already. That have been already, and that is what? The spirit of man, the spirit of human.
Yeah.
Okay, you have been already. That precept, it directly connects with the one in Ecclesiastes chapter 1 verse 9, through 11. You just can't remember the former things, but your spirit has been here before, whether you believe it or not. Whether you're able to receive, the true breakdown or not. Right. Reincarnation is factual, because what? This is backed up in the Holy Scriptures. All right? Nothing, sometimes you can't even explain. Some things are deja vu. Sometimes your family members may say, you act just like your great uncle. Hey, that could be, that's something very spiritual, man. There's no such thing as coincidences, man. Okay, once you truly understand the essence of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah.
And Esdras, by the way, Esdras was in the Persian Empire. Yeah. Absolutely. Let's see here. I grab Matthew's 11.
I get that loop.
Okay, This is the book of Matthew's.
It's the reincarnation account right here, man.
Absolutely. This is Matthew's chapter 11, verse 12. It says, and from the days of John, Baba Kushai, grab it in the old Malachi. We're going to read, real quick, we're going to read you a prophecy that was fulfilled partially in this time. And it has been fulfilled in fulfillment and fully in the time that we currently living in.
Yeah.
All right, if you can receive it. Yeah, you go
this
ahead,
Malachi chapter 4, verse 5. Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord.
Right, and he was sent. To fulfill this prophecy, both during the time of Yahweh Shah, as John the Baptist, and likewise as Abba Bivens. All right, if you can receive it, Abba Bivens fulfilled that prophecy as well. All right, being the same spirits. All right, so I'm going to read this in Matthew to prove that he was John, or that Elijah was John. Yeah. All right, in the reincarnation.
Because the men back then was asking the same thing. You know, they were asking the same things, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, they was inquiring. You know, they was thinking upon it. You know.
Right, but the secrets are revealed unto his saints.
Yeah, kind of.
All right. This is Matthew chapter 11, verse 12. It says, and from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence, and the violent take it by force. So it says, this is another reason how you know the kingdom of heaven is speaking of the nation of Israel. Because the kingdom of heaven, as we know, the glory of Yahweh Shah returning, that has not even yet been established. But the kingdom of heaven is dealing, that's why he said they should neither say lo here or lo there, for the kingdom of heaven is within you.
Right.
All right?
Yep.
Proof of thought. It said, suffer violence, and the violent take it by force, which are the infidels among our people, the Romans, okay, and the descendant of the Romans, all right? It says, for all the prophets in the law prophesied until John, and if ye will receive it, this is Elias, which was for to come. This is the words of Yahweh Shai himself.
Yeah.
He's telling the disciples that John was Elijah that was for to come. Now we know Elijah was a premier prophet in the Old Testament. All right, Elijah was, matter of fact, he was quite possibly one of the most important prophets in the Old Testament ever to live. All right, behind King David, and Moses, or at the end of the day, they all have their lot. But Elijah was a premier prophet. But the point is, he came back in reincarnation as John the Baptist. All right? And likewise, Abba Bivens, man. All right? Because when you go into the prophecies and revelations, that 3.5 years, all right? Okay, 3.5 years, all right, it's speaking of that time period from 1619. We know slaves were already here before 1619, but that was a signet point of slavery in America. Okay, that was when what they called the slave ship Jesus. All right, brought, and that's what the year when the majority of the slaves began to start flowing into America. All right, from that year 1619 to the year of his martyrdom, which is 1969. Marked that period and showed that he was that prophet to come, if you can receive it. And for those who don't know, Abba Bivens is the great teacher that established the truth out of One West. Those teachers and the prophets that came from One West and the elders, all right, starting from the apostles, teachers, all right, King Marshal, High Priest Arya, all of them came up under the leadership of Abba Bivens. All right, and anybody who's claiming that they're Israelite, a Messianic Israelite, they owe it to Abba Bivens, man. All right, because he's the one to bear that torch, which we know through the Spirit is Elijah and John the Baptist.
All right.
All right, but
I got a precept.
yeah, you go ahead.
This is Matthew chapter 17, verse 10. And his disciples asked him, saying, why then say the scribes that Elijah must first come? And Yahweh shall answer and said unto them, Elijah truly shall first come and restore all things.
Yeah.
So the brother was saying too, Abba Bibbs, he restored, he brought that truth back onto the, the Spirit used Abba Bibbs to bring truth back, to bring it back, man. It's in verse 12. But I say unto you that Elijah is come already, and they knew him not, but have done unto him whatsoever they listed. Likewise shall also the Son of Man suffer of them.
Right, because they persecuted John the Baptist, and ultimately he was beheaded.
Yeah.
All right, he was martyred. He was put to death.
Yeah. And he was already, they like y'all should say he was already here. Y'all just ain't know.
You didn't even know it. Like the prophets today, who they persecute, they want to tread on our necks. They want to put us to death. They want to incarcerate us. Meanwhile, we're the prophets of the Most High God. It's just a lot, man. These things, even events, ideologies, they're reincarnated as well. Or they're refurbished as well throughout the generations.
Yeah, if only you people knew from the from the beginning what was to come at the end, man. If only you knew.
Lord didn't want you to know.
Yeah, he didn't want you to know.
He didn't give you that spiritual eyesight. Your eyes are dry. You see, that's why when you see it's blurry. You don't get the clear picture, man. You don't have that 4K, all right? Because the Lord didn't sup with you. He's not supping with you.
Right.
But we don't say that to boast. We just say that to be honest with you, and we hope that the Lord doesn't give us over to that same draconian, demonic mind. All right. That's why it's important to stay humble, contrite, follow orders.
Right.
Brotherly love. These are the things that's going to bring forth the fruit of understanding, wisdom, and ultimately immortality.
Right. Come.
All right. You had anything else out?
Yeah, you want to end off with one?
Yeah.
So we can end off with Luke chapter 1, verse 17.
Oh, yeah.
And he shall go before him in the spirit and power of Elijah. See, it's a spiritual thing, man. Same spirit, because coming back. Just a different body. Just thing is simple, man. It's simple, but when the simple things that we understand, that's how much more spiritual it is. It says, and he shall go before him in the spirit, in the power of Elijah, to turn the hearts of the fathers to the children, and the disobedient to the wisdom of the just, to make ready a people prepared for the Lord. And that's what Abba Bibbs did, man. Made us prepared. That's that respect. To look back at the things that came before us, the men that been laboring before us, man. This thing is deep. Jay like to say deeper than rap, man. This thing, the reincarnation really is a deep topic, man.
It's deep, but it's something that your understanding is contaminated by because you have a westernized mindset.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
You have to understand we are Eastern people. We have that the ideology that we uphold comes from the Ibadia or Ibar. It means from the past. Everything comes from the east. Just remember, the garden was set eastward in Eden. You get on the Elamites, and don't get me wrong, they bugged out. They don't have the truth, but a lot of the principles that they uphold in their ideologies, a lot of them are actually on point because it's from the ancient world, man. All right. Now they've contaminated and they've deviated. Like reincarnation, it does exist. But you don't come back as an animal.
Yeah, they just went.
They
not spiritual.
They not. They
not the nation, man. There's not the nation Yahweh Shemiah has chosen, man.
Right. They don't have the name.
Yeah.
All right. We are the real. They're Shemites, and we're Shemites, but we are the true Shemites because we're the one who really bear the name of the Lord, man. Yeah. The name of the Lord is found in Yahshua in Israel.
Right.
All right.
We hold his reputation.
We are the Lord's heritage, in his inheritance, which means his possession, his posterity. All right. The son of the Lord, which of course is Yahweh Shai, and we being joint heirs, are the ones to inherit the Lord's possessions and his glory, if you can receive it. Okay? All right, if you die off, you're not gonna give your possessions to some Chinese boy up the street. You're gonna give it to your child.
Yeah, that's how it go.
You know, that's just how Lord, the Lord decided to choose the nation of Israel because He loved us.
Yep.
Really, because we are those first spirits. If you can receive that, but that's another topic for another day. So the point was made. We went into the etymology, went incarnate. We went into the Greek. Discussing the regeneration. We've brought out precept upon precept, line upon line. Okay, we've discussed it. Woe is me, who should deliver me in those days.
Brought up an account, brought out the account, Yahushua and disciples explaining the reincarnation itself. So
Exactly. He said when they die, they're like angels. That means when you go back to the spiritual world. You don't just die and just come straight back into a body. You go into the spiritual realm for a set season, and then when it's time for you to return on the earth, the Lord send your spirit back into a womb of a woman. It originally comes from your father, because the seed, comes from the father.
Right.
Go into the mother's womb, you're fashioned in the blood, you develop in your birth. And the cycle, that's the cycle of life.
Right.
And it continues. The only thing is now, the elect will never die anymore. We're at a very weird and unorthodox time period in history, in time. It's never been a time period like this ever. We're at the time period where a certain group of man, a certain group of people, that these people will never die.
Right.
Now,
if somebody want to read about it, Revelation chapter 21, man. Just go ahead and read it, man.
Yep.
No more death, no more sorrow.
No more death, no more sorrow. Why? Because we're going to overcome sin. We're going to overcome death. Scripture speaks about that in the book of Romans. All right? All right? But the only reason we die, we're subjugated to sin, because sin is death.
Yep.
But if we don't sin, then we don't die. Now, the heathens are going to continue to die and come back. But the nation of Israel is everlasting life.
Yep.
That's the promise. For God so loved the world, cosmos,
Right.
which we know is speaking of a government. When you go into that word, cosmos, it means a government or harmonious arrangement, which is what? That government and that ruling body of the nation of Israel.
And he said, all Israel shall be saved.
All Israel shall be saved. Now Lord willing, we're the first fruit.
Yeah, right.
And from us, the nation shall be regenerated.
Exactly.
After the destructions and the plagues that the brother just read are manifested. A lot of the majority of the nation of Israel are going to die in these times.
Right.
Because that's how the Lord wrote it.
Right.
So anything else, brother?
No, that's it.
So hey, it's been a topic on reincarnation.
Yep.
Lord willing, it was edifying. We're going to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Wachakadash. Shalom to the sincere laborers and keep the faith. Shalom.
Hey, shalom.